On this episode of Extreme UTV Tech, we're going to show you how to lower your seats while reclining them.
So if you're tall like me and you're looking for a little more headroom in your machine, or maybe you're trying to put on an aftermarket cage, or chop the top, get that look, and you need a little more space, or maybe you're just tired of these really stiff upright seats that come from the factory and you want a little more relaxed feel while you're driving, or maybe you're just tired of the cheap plastic seat bases that come from factory and need something a little more sturdy, which a lot of race series are requiring these days, then you need a set of aftermarket seat lowering bases. And while there's a ton out there on the market right now, one of our favorites is from Longhorn Fab, and we're going to show you why.
Also, stay tuned to the very end because we're going to give away a set.
So this hunk of plastic right here is what comes in your RZR factory, and this is what your seat is bolted to, and these little plastic tabs are all that are holding you in. I can't really say much more about that. This is the Longhorn Fab seat lowering base. It's all steel construction, laser cut, CNC formed. So this base not only lowers your seating height significantly, it also reclines your seat so you get a more relaxed feel. A big thing about these that I really like over other models I've seen, I have seen other seat bases that you have to remove the factory plastic latch off the factory base and somehow fasten it to your new seat base so you can install and remove your factory seats. Now, if you've got a factory seat, that will work because you can reach behind them and grab that latch. Aftermarket seats, like any type of suspension seat you buy, anybody that has them knows you have the string on the back of the seat that you have to reach over the rear of the seat, somehow find the cord that's attached and pull the cord up to release the seat. Those cords fall down behind your seat. They're a pain to get to. It really is a hassle. Well, Longhorn's seat base has this lever here that runs from the front to the back, and this lever is what you use to release the seat. You do not use the factory plastic latch. So that is the unlock position. You drop your seat in. This is the front edge, what would be the front of the seat. Drop your seat in place, slide that over, locks into place, your seat's locked in. No more fumbling with cords, no more losing cords behind the seat. It's all on the front edge, easy access, easy to get to. All right, so before we show you guys how to install one of these yourself, we want to do a little side-by-side comparison. So the driver's seat here already has a Longhorn Fab seat lowering base on it, and the passenger seat still has the factory Polaris seat base on it. And you can see visually just by looking at it, it's already a good bit lower. But we'll measure it just for argument's sake. This one is 14.5 to the roof, and this one is 13. So the difference there is 1.5 inches. So the Longhorn Fab seat bases has lowered this seat 1.5 inches. It's also reclined it back, and if you've ever been in the back of a four-seater, they are not made for adults. I'm 6'2", and a really nice effect that I've already seen from these bases is not only does it lower the seat, but it reclines it back, which pushes the bottom of the seat slightly forward. So it actually gives the passengers in the back a little bit more leg room. Like I said, I'm 6'2", and I'm fitting back here no problem. So we still got one more to throw on. We're going to show you how to do that now. All right, first thing you need to do, take your lever from Longhorn, slide it in from the front, and it comes through this slot right here in the rear. And these two holes on this back plate line up with those two holes right there in the lever. Take your shoulder bolts, 5/16 washers, drop them in from the top. One there, one there. And just throw a nut on the back. So the first thing you got to do is, once you get your factory seat out, is remove the factory plastic seat base. Just these 4 bolts right here. There's one. Oh my god.
How'd you get dirt in there?
How did this happen?
I thought you keep your stuff clean.
Well, I did. It's dirty since ever been. Alright, once you get the factory base off, the 2 front seats in a 4-seat RZR and also both seats in a 2-seater RZR have this factory slider adjustment in them. You will not reuse that, and you need to remove it to get the most amount of drop out of these bases. So once you got these off, these 4 inset holes here, there's 4 bolts in there. Remove those, you can take the slider out, and then you'll put these same bolts back in to reattach the seat cushion. Somebody gonna say, I like your Husky tools. Stay.
You trying to mount that sideways?
Oh, did I have it sideways? I need more hands. That looks a little more. Wait, nope. Try again. 3rd time's charm. That looks a little more appropriate.
For folks watching at home, make sure you put the seat cushion on correctly. You have a way of making things look more difficult than they are. What's the time frame on this? 2-hour install?
I feel like I'm at a golf tournament right now. Get in the hole. Well, it depends on how well equipped you are. Alright, so this is just to show you guys how this latching mechanism works on the Longhorn base. It slips in to this catch right here, just like factory. You drop it over the pin, and then you can see when you pull this lever to the side and it locks in, it pushes up against the pin, and this thing's in here really solid. Now it's got a little play in it now. You got to take the little rubber bumpers off the factory seat bases and stick them in here, and that'll tighten that up. But right now I just wanted to test fit it and show you guys how that worked, because it's tough to see once the seat is mounted. So now we're going to throw it on the seat. Again, lever goes to the front of the seat, and you just use the supplied hardware, not the stock hardware. Go into the factory nut certs in the bottom of the frame, and you want to get all 4 of them in, but do not tighten them down yet. So once you get them in, get them started, you want to run them down just finger tight to where you can still slide the base. Alright, now you want to take it and put it in the machine. Alright, now the reason you want to leave it loose is to get everything set correctly to where there's no bind. Alright, it's set down on the pin. We'll go ahead and latch it over. And the reason you want to do this is, again, if you're tall like me, I like to run my seat as far back as it will go. Now when you run it all the way back, the seat's actually resting against this crossbar, the harness bar in the rear. And the way that lever actuates, everything needs to be set perfectly. It can't be in a bind, otherwise you won't be able to latch it or unlatch it. So you need to get the seat in, get it latched in like we've got it, and the seat's still got movement in it, as you can see. Well, I'm going to slide mine back as far as it can go. Matches the other one pretty good. The way it's in a good, it's not bound up, I can still unlatch it. Yep, still unlatch it. So I want to hold that still, take it back out, we'll take it back to the table and tighten everything down, and then we'll be ready to install it permanently. Alright, last thing you want to do before you install it for good these two little rubber pieces that are in the front of the factory seat base, pop them out, pop them back in these holes right here on the front of the Longhorn base, and that'll eliminate any kind of vibrations or rattles, and it'll really firm up the front of the seat base. Now we're ready to throw it in. There it is.
Now passenger can lean back.
Race mode. Let's go fast.
Okay, let's go. I'll drive.
Heck yeah.
That made a big difference.
It really is a huge difference. I'm very surprised.
So I've got these big cushy PRP seats in my RZR because I want to race it, doing some endurance racing. And I struggled with a different set of seat lowering bases. Because these seats are already reclined and they're really big, they would hit the wall and wouldn't, since they're already reclined, they wouldn't slide as far back. So they actually moved forward when I put those other seat lowering bases in, because I used some of the factory hardware and the factory latch, and it just didn't work for me. So when we got the set from Longhorn, I went ahead and put a set in here and tried it on one of my seats, and it solved my problems. And then not only did it solve that problem, I actually have some headroom in here now. It also has this latch that I can actually get the seat out. Like before, I didn't want anything to do with taking the seat out of this thing. It was a pain in the butt. I had to pull on this little string back here and find it somewhere in all of this dirt and dust. And now I can pop them in, take them out anytime I need to. No problem. And they're in. So as you can see, it made all kinds of headroom in here. Ridiculous. So if you want to lower the seats in your machine, the Longhorn bases are the way to go. Luckily for us, they sent us a set, and they also sent us an extra set to give away to you guys. So after this video gets 10,000 views, which means you got to comment, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment about what you thought about the video and what you thought about the seat bases. And after 10,000 views on this video, we will pick one lucky subscriber, and we will send them a set of these for their machine. And we love them. I'm so pumped we finally solved the issues I had with my PRP seats. They fit in there perfect with the new bases. Pumped about that. Now it's ready for race mode. And if you want a set for your machine, we're also going to sell them. So hit up the link in the description and you can get a set for your machine there if you don't want to wait for the giveaway. And if you want to check out some older episodes of Extreme UTV, they're over here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because that's how you win. And as always, thanks for watching.